Okay, I got my video camera rolling. So we are in South Pittsburg, Tennessee. Tommy and I just out hanging out today, and we wound up at the National Guard Armory right here in South Pittsburg, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And
I was a member of the Army National Guard, not in South Pittsburg, but a member of the Army National Guard for 6 years. The 168th Military Division.
I didn't know you were in the National Guard.
Yeah, for 6 years.
Okay, so tell me, what are your memories of this building right here? Who did you guys bring down?
We bought a group that decided, let's see, two groups, the Guess Who and the Who. But they weren't the original, they were imitators. But we pulled it off, packed it out, had a great crowd, and everybody really seemingly had a good time. Maybe too good a time. I'm not for sure about that.
So,
but that's been a few years back.
How many years ago? What year was that?
Let's see. That was about See, I was divorced from my first wife, and I wasn't married, so it was about 69, 70.
Okay.
About 69, I say. I was still at WFLI, so it was about 69 is when it was.
Now, is this the group that didn't show up? One of these bands didn't show up on time, or
No. That was another time. That was Bobby Boyd and the Playboys that would give him. He was one. They didn't show up. That was up in. Oh shoot, what was I trying to think? The National Guard Armory in McKaysville, Georgia. That's where we had that, but they had a ball up there too, and we had 2 or 3 shows up there. But
was it hard to book these armories back then, or how did that work?
Not really, no.
Did you have to have your own insurance, or
no? Didn't worry about any of that. I'd book the show. Everybody in the area is in McKaysville and of course South Pittsburg. South Pittsburg has been a Tommy Jett town for a long time. They've treated me very well at anything I've done down here, and I really appreciate it. And but I didn't have any preliminary things I had to do. Just get the bands there, and the crowd would show.
Okay. Do you remember what you had to pay to rent the National Guard?
I don't remember. Maybe $100.
Wow.
Something like that to rent back in that time.
So you paid them the money, and then you just booked it and sold it out.
And sold it out. Booked the band, and I was on the air doing afternoon drive at WFLI. So every place where we played could hear me on the radio. So I had I was well known, and so everywhere I went, I'd call it the Tommy Jett sock hop or the Tommy Jett whatever, and we pack it out. We packed it out here. They get a little rowdy, They throw a few beer cans and drink a little liquor.
What happened when things got a little rowdy?
Well,
what course of action did you guys?
We had a couple of police officers that kept it within range to where nobody got killed or nothing like that, So
now you booked up the Armory down in Dalton, Georgia. You went down there.
Oh, many times. That was my home base. I had the Fiestas down there. I had Joe Dossett and the Coachman, which was a very popular group in Chattanooga. I had, let's see, who else I have. But I had a bunch of acts there. I booked it several times. Matter of fact, I had it booked the night that they were mourning the death of JFK in 1963. We had been promoting this show of a group out of Atlanta. A black group, and they were really good. Name were the Galaxies, and they showed up not dressed as well as I would like for them to have. So, but nobody showed up much for the crowd. We didn't have much of a crowd because of the Kennedy thing. So I got out of having to pay him to the full salary. And Nick Smith was there with me on that show. And he said, we didn't have enough money to pay him. And I said, he said, you tell him, man, you tell him. And so I'm the one that ended up having to tell him. And I said, you guys are going to have to give us a cut, so we don't have enough money to pay you, first of all. And secondly, you didn't come up looking as sharp as I have seen you before. Because I had seen the group perform somewhere. That's the reason I booked them myself, because I thought I could pack it out. And I could have if President Kennedy hadn't gotten assassinated.
Yeah.
And I was on the air when President Kennedy was assassinated, matter of fact. And so it was just...
Oh, that was a tragedy.
Yeah, tragedy and chaos. That's
Wow.
all I can say about it, really. And so the show, they did the show, but there probably wasn't over 25 or 30 people there, so that pretty well tells you how it turned out.
Yeah.
And but we couldn't turn it. We couldn't. We'd already been plugging it for 2 weeks on the air, and so we couldn't cancel it. You know, because there would have been some people show up, which some did. And I forget, maybe we cut the price, or I can't remember all the particular details, but it happened. And I got up and we did the show like we would have done it if there'd been 10,000 people there. The show must go on.
Okay. Tell me about the show in Jasper. You brought Billy Joe Royal into Jasper, Tennessee.
Lord. This is a funny story. Billy Joe, he still remembers. I've known Billy Joe since 1962, and we're really close friends. And matter of fact, he was my inductee into the Radio Hall of Fame, Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame. He was one of my special guests. Not everybody was my guest, but he was a little, you know, because of his notoriety and what have you. I asked him, I said, would you like to come to the Hall of Fame and see me get inducted? He said, yeah, man, I'd love it. And he had a ball. He had a blast down there. The Jasper thing, I got booked to do the show with William Jett, that's Hank Jr.'s half-sister. And so she opened the show, and then I came on. Billy Joe had his bus, and it was pouring down rain out in a field. They had it, and there was one person there. One lady, I don't know who she was, and Charlene, my wife, now can tell you that this is a true story. She sat there all the way through the show. Now it didn't literally pour and come a flood, but it rained the whole show.
It rained hard enough to where only one person
stayed, right. And Billy Joe Royal is still a big name, and he was a big name.
And what year was that? That was.
Let's see. Well, Charlene and I've been married. It was about 10 or 15 years ago.
Wow.
Somewhere in there.
You think Billy Joe Royal today will remember Jasper, Tennessee?
Oh yeah. We talk about it. We still talk about it. Occasionally when I'm with him, I'll ask him, I say, you remember the Jasper show we had? He said, oh Lord, do I ever. But you know what? He went on, and when I introduced him, he came on and did the show just like he would have done it if it, like I said, like if there'd been 10,000 people there. And he told me, he hugged me and told me he loved me. He said, I love you, man. I said, I love you too. For doing this, you gotta love somebody, you know. And he's one of my best buddies and a good friend, and it's great to have friends like that.